make sure my audio works. Always have problems with it. It's simply gonna lag behind. It's gonna lag. And here it goes. Test my audio. Yep. Okay, so it works. Cool. All right, that's all I wanted to make sure. Okay, so today's the 20th. Haven't been coding much lately. You know how life is. Just sometimes you can code, sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's things you have to do. Got dental work done today. Figured out what the problem with the stream the whole time was. I had my stream settings basically set too high, like the bit rate and everything, so it was just like too much on the internet and it would just kill it, so I could never actually like stream. So I might have bought a new motherboard for nothing. It was like a dinosaur anyway, so it needed to be replaced. It's no big deal. The thing was so old. Anyway, so it's 4:30. Yeah, it's the 20th. We're going to hop over to things to do, and our current issue, and you can see our list here of things to do, is very long. Lots of them are like, some of them are duplicates and some of them are like 1-minute tasks, 5-minute tasks, so it's no big deal. Some of them I probably won't even do. Let's just jump right in. So we have CS, client side data transfer function logic issue. If we use this function from CS from client side, quite certain we would only increment one apply counter. We would never increment both counters since we are not sending to both clients. If we use this function from CS, quite certain we would only increment one apply counter. Never increment both counters since we are not sending to both. Okay, I see. Yeah. Well, yeah, we would never increment the the two other client. I said did a partial review of this logic, began considering a more complex implications related to this question, did not fully decide on proper solution. Okay, so let's open up the file with that function, which is going to be change attribute list, I think, and we're looking at data transfer function, and that's right here. Alright, so a note here, instead of checking if attr name string in time tube, we individually assessed. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I know about that note. Okay, so my concern was for if SS or CS is equal to CS. First, I want to make sure I added in all the related code for SS or CS. Pretty sure I did. I'm not positive on that. So change attribute list. The SS or CS, and that is a immutable object, and that means since it's an immutable object, that means we have to import the object in terms of file dot variable note like format, and not importing the variable from the file. Otherwise, we're basically creating a new instance of the variable in the file. but SS or CS is checked in this change attribute list file. So thinking about this, SS or CS is checked in this file. It's changed where it's imported. So it's imported into another file, and then it's assigned there. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like, I already tested this. If we were to import this SS or CS from another file, then in the format of like from change attribute list import SS or CS, wherever we import that and modify that object, it's not going to reassign the object in this location. I'm quite certain of that because I remember doing a test on that. Let me look real quick and see if I can find class instance object list, no. Custom list pop method, no. Class adder ref via instance method. Class adder ref via instance method. No. No. Import var mod within. No, that's not it. Wait. Okay, no, this is it. Reminder that when you import a file and modify a var from that file via a function defined in the importing file via file.var, the var is indeed modified outside of the scope of the function thereafter. Okay, so this is for you know how it is. Internet. I don't want to fucking talk about the internet issues I have. I'm so, I swear to God, I don't want to get mad. I'm gonna get mad if I start talking about it. Just whatever, it disconnected, it reconnected. Who cares? Fuck it. So you have to either import the entire file and modify them via file.var namespacing, or have them exist instead as instance and instance attributes methods. You have to either import the entire file, okay, or have them exist instead as instance and instance attribute methods, and import the class instance for the originals to be modified from the perspective of the imported from file. Okay, yeah. So if we do method number 1, that's importing global variables from a file and modifying them, and then calling a function imported from the same file, which prints out those two global vars, does not reflect the changes made to those global vars. So when we do from testing, import SS or CS, client ID and data change, and we assign SS or CS. Then we run this function. It says the two global variables, calling a function which prints out those two global variables does not reflect the changes made to those global variables. So when we run this data change function, it doesn't print out these two values, it prints out a different value. And then method number 2 is importing the entire file via import file, and then doing the exact same process, with the only difference being that you reference the global vars and function via file.global or function namespace instead of global or function directly. So, yeah, that's how you have to do it for it to be changed in the original location. And obviously, we need it to be changed in the original location. So hopefully, since we did already tested that, then that means we already like implemented the proper code for that, but I wasn't sure, so I want to make sure. So let's just look right here. So this imports global SS or CS function, correct? We check if SS or CS is equal to SS for server side, then same thing elif, and that's for client side, and then we check again. Okay, alright, whatever, that's fine. And then we import the change attribute list. So this is the correct format. This is the way that we need to do it, so we can modify the actual SS or CS and check the pi client ID global vars for the purpose of correct apply counter logic in change attribute list functions. Yeah, so we did do it correctly. That's why we reference it like this: change attribute list dot SS or CS, and same thing in server. We import it the same way. We put the same note and everything. Acquired due to handling. Actually, because the above line could change, so I don't really want to reference the above line. Required due to handling the immutable global var SS or CS. Required import format, because that's more specific. That's like doesn't explain what I was talking about. So change attribute list.ss or CS equals SS, and I just want to make sure now, so everything's taken care of for that. We're just going to I want to print out the SS or CS to make sure that it's being modified. And basically, since it starts off as none, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a log here, custom logger, and we don't have custom logger imported, so we need to import custom logger. So we'll put import custom logger, or rather from custom logger import custom logger, and okay, yeah, so that's a class instance. So yeah, we just import it straight up like that. So now we have from custom logger import the custom logger, and now what we're gonna do is whenever we run this function, call traceback print log function, which will tell us there we go. So this is going to tell us that it basically let us know that it's working, meaning that our assignments to the SS or CS in the other files where it's imported to, those changes are being reflected here where it's needed. So I'll just put test verification logs to ensure var_mods in other files is being reflected here, and that is a comment. Now what we can do is well, that's it. That's all we needed to do for that part. Don't need this open. Now we're going to review the thing we actually came here to review. that was to look at the if SS or CS is equal to CS, right? Because the concern is that whenever we're using this function from the client side, certain we would only increment one apply counter. We would never increment both counters since we are not sending to both clients. So we're not sending to both clients, right? From the client side, we only send to one. And looks like this is coded correctly, because if the change attribute list pi client ID is equal to 1, then C1, we only use C1 to C1 because that's the only one we're going to be using. And same thing for if it's equal to 2. This could just be else, honestly. I want to use elif just in case, because maybe it still would be none, you know what I mean? And we don't want it to be to enter the elif if it was none. That means it's not being assigned correctly. So I think I'll leave it like that, and we're just gonna make sure this one is being changed correctly. We do import it using the global keyword, and then in client, okay, so we do assign it right here based on the client ID, and that's yeah, that's all we need. Okay, so that's good. And looking at the code in the function right here, this seems to be correct. So we already have taken care of that, it looks like. Yeah, so I'm actually happy with this. This is fine. So let's get rid of that. Going in already. It's late session. We're coding. So game test slash debug receive order integrity perfect data application. Finally, debug test these two systems. Have yet to do any actual game testing and debugging. That was supposed to be the next step, but there was always steps you forgot or steps that. So we're actually gonna hold off on doing that one. I want to get some of this other stuff. So let's pick one of these things. Sound system. While reviewing prog.py at line 1466, pygame.mixer.stop, I realized that this code is not optimized for the multi-client system. At the very least, we need to add in a way for the .stop to be transmitted to the other clients. I feel like that other sound related code is probably not optimized for the new system. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into this one. So we're going to go to line 1466 in progression, and okay, so yeah, this pygame.mixer stop, this is really like pointless on the server side. Basically any like play or stop or whatever on the server side is useless. So let's see. Dot mixer. So we have pygame.mixer init, and this is in game initialized, any time imported this is, wait a second, why is this done twice? Oh, it's not, I'm an idiot. Anyway, so here's our sounds, that's fine, those are good. Now blah blah blah. So okay, here we go. This right here, um this event handler actually would be handled on only on the client side. So this code is actually good. Yeah, that's actually the correct way to do it from the client's perspective. Now, the only difference is like each client, it would be like independent, and that's fine actually. I don't necessarily think we have to transfer that data because it's already independently executed. Like it gets executed on each individual client. So yeah. Anyway, music stop, load, set, set volume, play, and this would be executed on the client side. So this is, well, actually I'm not sure about that because it depends on where. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like review. I'll put I just put the double stamp of approval. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put, we'll move this to current issues, and then we're gonna put right here 8/20/24 began review of system, ensure client blah blah blah. So we began a thorough review of the system to ensure client functionality. Right. And what we're gonna do is I will put I'll just put we'll put double stamp of approval, code next to each line, each associated line. We'll put next to each associated line. Yeah, so we'll put next to each associated. That is deemed valid. Yeah, that's correct. All right, so it's gonna be our like system. This sound system. This is gonna be our system. So close this. We're gonna open up game. Go back to this first line, and this being initialized on the class. It's fine. Like technically, we don't need this to be done on the server side. I think like we don't need it to be done on the server side. But does it really matter? It really doesn't matter. So like, should we remove it from the server side? Like, will it cause bugs? I don't think it will. I think it's just extra. I don't really like extra dead code that doesn't serve any purpose. It just eats performance and stuff. So that's not good practice.